Welcome back to the Grown Kid Talk Show, and yes, the console war is a lie. I am specifically referring to the PS5 versus the Xbox Series, whatever it is. I don't really care. It's really confusing, and there's already stories about people pre-ordering the wrong one. That's besides the point. The narrative that this is a console war is a narrative that is incorrect and has been proven incorrect time and time again, and the purpose of this video is to convince you of that and to understand that the console war is really just a marketing scheme for a certain company to try to boost their own sales. I'm sure you can guess which company that is, that doesn't focus on the games, is releasing an inferior console, the Series S, that isn't true next gen, but still gonna ask you for some money for it. Besides the point, the console war doesn't exist, and I'm just tired of seeing videos with that title. I'm here to quell your thoughts. I'm here to simply just provide some facts for you so you can make a knowledgeable decision on what console you should get if you want to play games. Again, I repeat, if you want to play games. If you want to do something else, then this video isn't probably for you, because it's always been about the games. And don't let these Xbox fanboys and fangirls convince you otherwise, because their narrative that they're pushing, that this is a war, that Xbox is somehow winning this war, is not centered around the games. It's centered around some hope that this time Xbox will be different. Microsoft will care about its fan base. This time that there will be games. It's this time. Again, you can have your this time and with nothing to back it, but I'm gonna start hitting you with some facts here. So I'm going to skip my normal preamble. I hope you enjoyed today's video. The console war is a lie.
Yo, it's the Grown Kid Talk Show. Yo, it's the Grown Kid Talk Show. Yo, Grown Kid Talk Show.
Before I start, I want to put in context of what a war is.
I got something to say.
Two sides fight and one eventually wins. We know how the war started. Microsoft wanted to get into the business of gaming, so they entered the race.
How old are you, Mere Money?
7.
And what are you going to be doing for us today?
Rapping.
You rap.
Bitch, I did the race.
However, this war of yours has gone on so long, it's time to pick a winner. We clearly have a winner, but some people can't admit who fucking won this war, because every time there's a console, suddenly it's a war. Someone wants to keep fighting this battle, this war that they've lost countless times before. It's time to hit you with some sales numbers, right? Because apparently Microsoft people, Xbox guys, all about the money, right? Just buying Bethesda for some reason, and that's how you went. Wow, I just fucking rambled. Let's show some numbers, since that seems to be one of the things that Microsoft people respond to. However, they really don't want to talk numbers when they see the numbers, so let's break down some fucking numbers. Hard facts example 1B.
Numbers on the boards.
PlayStation 1 lifetime 155 million units, and mind you, this war hasn't even started yet, and it's already tilted. Now the war has begun, right? PlayStation 2 versus the Xbox. The PlayStation 2 was a blowout. Now, maybe the war didn't start then. Feel free to tell me when the war started for you, and I'll hit you with the sales numbers for whenever you decide the war started. But at the PlayStation 2, as you can see, 158 million units to Xbox 84 million units. So let's just say all of this was background information. PS3 lifetime did 87.4 million. Xbox 360 lifetime did 84 million. I ask you, what number is bigger? Okay, you want to call that a tie? I don't think numbers tie in this situation. I clearly think that 87.4 is bigger than 84. That would be a clear sign that there was a winner to the war. Now, you want to say it was a battle? Which system here was the stronger system? It was the PS3. Did both systems have problems like the red ring of death? Well, the Xbox 360 had. Anyway, that's besides the point. You could say that the war was fueling. You could say that Xbox 360 finally felt like a contender in this war, if you would go that far, if you're not counting anything from the PS1 or the PlayStation 2 days. Let's talk about the most recent generation. And again, this is another blowout. PS4 lifetime 112.5 million units to the Xbox One 48 million units. That is the trashiest thing I've ever seen. People who know how to count numbers have the PlayStation winning every fucking console war, but for people who just want to kind of propagate a narrative, okay, the Xbox 360 did well, put up pretty good numbers. I mean, not one time has the Xbox console passed units sold for any of the PlayStation systems, but I mean, okay, if you want to create an argument. So I ask you, which console is better based on the numbers. I want to break this down in understandable parts for everybody. Instead of hearing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, let's talk about the big hard facts. And the big hard fact is, there is not a single Xbox console that has outsold a PlayStation console. So now, let's talk about the games. How do we win this war? What is the definition of winning this war? Is it the sales numbers of the consoles? Is it the games that come out on the consoles? I mean, those would be two great identifiers for who wins a console war. I mean, if you ask an Xbox person, I'm sure they would come up with something else. So do I really need to cover this? Probably not, but I think I'll give you a nice little fact out there just in case you were wondering. The last Xbox exclusive that won Game of the Year was 2007 BioShock. Now, you might think that this statistic is slanted. However, I consider the VGAs, which are December 10th this year, super excited about, to be our quintessential video game award show. If you want to use some obscure ass websites, Game of the Year, as a fact that Xbox has won something, you go right ahead. But I'm gonna move to the future, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. The VGAs is our video game award show. That's what it is. It is our Grammys. If you can't accept that, I'm sorry, you're behind the time. 2007 BioShock was the last time that an Xbox exclusive held such a prestigious title. I don't think I need to mention that was 13 years ago. Let that sink in. That's how much Xbox cares about the games. 13 years with no console exclusive game of the year. What does that tell you about the games? And I can see it already. You're defending it. Well, how about we go to this generation and talk about the games? Because like I said at the beginning, Xbox fans will try to sell you on everything but games. So let's talk about launch titles, right? I thought launch titles, yeah, it fits in the category of games, but launch titles is also something people consider to be a main contributing factor into winning a console war. What do you hit in the streets with? Well, the Xbox exclusives I can find, and this was as of Tuesday, September 22nd, was Gears Tactics, which is out on PC already, and Tetris. I didn't really even mean to laugh there, even though I put that. Yeah, that's all I could honestly find. And I'm gonna ask genuinely, did I miss some indie game? Because that's all that I could have possibly missed, is some fucking indie game. Now I think you're getting all mad as an Xbox fan. I said the word exclusive, right? The word exclusive. I know you're not accustomed to that word since about 13 years ago, but exclusive. I know that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming to Xbox. I know that Watch Dogs Legion is also coming to Xbox. But those games are also coming to PlayStation. So when it comes to exclusive launch titles, you have Gears Tactics, which is an XCOM simulator. Hey, cool, I like XCOM as much as the next person, but it's out already, and fucking Tetris. Okay. And to be honest, I didn't even want to list all of the ones for the PlayStation 5 because I just wanted to list the ones I'm most excited about. Demon's Souls, Godfall, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, the Xbox haters are going to hate on some of these games.
You are a hater.
And again, there are more that I'm not going to name. So what are we talking about? These are actually titles. What I showed you with Xbox was a bunch of garbage. So a logical person by this point is like, oh shit, I mean, yeah, well, PlayStation obviously has won this war and is winning the war currently as they're going to have games at launch. But even then, I want to give an Xbox fan the chance. What makes you think that this Xbox will be different? Is it the Game Pass? Is it the console power? Is it buying Bethesda? How about the Game Pass? It's the fucking Game Pass. Everybody's talking about that thing. I made a specific video on that and the acquisition of Bethesda that I'm going to show a clip of here that kind of sums up my thought. I don't know how many of you out there respect Bethesda for what they've done recently. Again, let's look at the recent history of Bethesda as well. Not exactly something to write home about. One reason being, and my main one, is that look at the quality of games shown at that Xbox event. They were all last gen quality. But I ask you, how long did it take for Netflix to get to the level they're at today? day. Now, I'm not saying and knocking Netflix because it's a great service. I'm just saying, how long did it take? So if you're expecting Xbox Game Pass to come out the gate and be like how Netflix is right now, you're sadly mistaken. Console power. I remember people saying that PlayStation 3 was the most powerful console, yet that didn't sell Xbox fans on it. So why is that working in reverse now? Right now, Xbox has the more powerful console, and you're supposed to be sold on that, but you weren't sold on that with the PlayStation 3, and yet their narrative kind of seemed like the Xbox 360 won that war, but then I showed you the numbers, and they didn't. So I'm confused. What will please these Xbox fans? Because it damn sure can't be that Game Pass. Xbox will move the goalpost every 10 seconds and not concentrate on the games. The case is closed. And you know why the case is closed? Because any other metric to measure a winner other than what I have listed is just so your inner fanboy or fangirl with nothing to back your argument. You don't have numbers to back you, and you don't have the games to back you. So what are we actually fucking talking about in terms of a console war? There is no console war. And finally, what matters most? I want you to ask yourself right now what matters the most. And I want you to say it with me. On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. The games. If you said anything else, this video is not for you. You're an Xbox fan defender and can't see reason and logic. Don't understand numbers and games. It's about the games. It's always been about the games. I know I talk a lot. I definitely rambled with those tangents. I fucking ranted. I'm the grown kid, and I catch you back in another video.